Morton, poet, novelist, short story writer. Sue is the fellowship winner 2020, who, due to COVID, was unable to take up her fellowship until now. This coming Friday morning at 11 a.m, Sue will be handed the key to the writing room at Isola Bella, the Marie's Salle des Mariages. Welcome to Monton, Sue. We will now say a few words.
All right. Don't know what's the protocol with the flag. I'm sure I shouldn't drape it over myself. Kia ora, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Bonjour and hello. I am absolutely delighted to be here in Monton. It has been a 3-year journey of the imagination between being awarded the fellowship and finally arriving here last week. I realised that today, the 13th of September, is the day that Catherine Mansfield and Ida Baker, her friend Ida Baker, arrived in Monton from London to take up residence in the Villa Isola Bella. And I don't know if it's part of the reason that this event is on this day, but it is that anniversary. Yeah. So I want to just read briefly a letter that Catherine Mansfield wrote to her husband in London, John Middleton Murray, the day after she arrived. So this letter is about arriving in Monton on the 13th of September 1920, 103 years ago. We arrived here yesterday at 4:50 after a day of terrible heat. Monton felt like home. It was really bliss to sit in the voiture and drive through those familiar streets, and then up a queer little leafy way, and then another at right angles to a gate, all hidden by green, where La Bonne Annette stood waving her apron, and the Peak leapt at her heels. The villa is, so far, perfect. It has been prepared inside and out to such an extent that I don't think it will ever need a hand's turn again. The path from the gate to the 2 doors has a big silver mimosa showering across it. The garden is twice as big as I imagined. One can live in it all day. The hall is black and white marble. The salon is on your right as you enter, a real little salon with velvet-covered furniture and an immense dead clock and a gilt mirror and 2 very handsome crimson vases which remind me of fountains filled with blood. It has 2 windows. One looks over the garden gate, the other opens onto the terrace and looks over the sea. I mustn't forget to mention the carpet with the design of small beetles which covers the whole floor. The dining room is equally charming in its way. It has French windows, it abounds in cupboards full of vessels, and has a vrai buffet with silver teapot, coffee and milk jug which catch the flashing eye. All is delightful. She goes on to write, the heat is almost as great as when we arrived last year. One can wear nothing but a wisp of silk, 2 bows of pink ribbon, and a robe de mousseline. Moustiques and moucherons are in full blast. We are both bitten to death already. They are frightful, but so far I can accept them without a reproach. The compensations are so great. I must tell you, a very big date palm grows outside my bedroom balcony window. At the end of the garden wall, a yellow crumbling wall, there is a vast magnolia full of buds. There is a tap in the garden. In the vegetable garden, the French artichokes are ready to eat, and minute yellow and green marrows. A tangerine tree is covered in green balls. The view is surpassingly beautiful. Late last night, on the balcony, I stood listening to the tiny cicadas and to the frogs and to someone playing a little chain of notes on a flute.
Thank you. The 2023 winner of the fellowship is writer Charlotte Grimshaw, and she's no stranger to Monton because her father, Carl Stead, had the fellowship in 1972. But we now would like Damien Wilkins, the fellowship winner of 2008, to say a few words. Thank you, Damien.
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour, everyone. Kia ora tātou. So I was here in 2008 with my family, and Marie, my wife, is here, and Geraldine, our daughter, one of our daughters, is here, and our other daughter couldn't make it because she's on the beach, so she's got her priorities right. She doesn't want to come and listen to her father speak. So they were very young children, and they went into French schools here in Monton. And really they only had extremely bad, rudimentary bonjour, and we threw them into the French school system, and within a few weeks the younger one, Greta, was inviting French friends round, and they were speaking in French, and you witnessed this wonderful transformation. For us it was an extraordinary time, a really golden period. We live in Wellington in New Zealand, and weather like this doesn't really come around, you know. It's a very windy city, it's often a bit cool, so coming here was extraordinary, and we were met by the wonderful William Rubenstein, who became a good friend of ours and helped us with lots of things, so it's very nice to reconnect with some friends, and for the last couple of days we've just been walking around in a state of nostalgic glow or something, thinking about all the things we used to do here. I think we came to this garden once, maybe when it was open, because it had this wonderful word, you know, novelist becomes a romancier, and so you kind of think, oh yes, I'm a romancier. It's very nice. So when I was here, I wrote a novel called Somebody Loves Us All, and it had a strange premise which I sort of developed when I was here, and that it's about a woman who wakes up one day speaking with a French accent. And this thing occurs, it's called Foreign Accent Syndrome, FAS. And I'd read about it a few years before, and I was really interested in this idea that you could wake up sounding not like yourself. And so I just imagined a story where a woman wakes up sounding French. It's set in New Zealand, but I think I used this kind of aspect of my time here to inform lots of the scenes, to think of someone who might start to begin to be someone other than themselves. So that's my novel, Somebody Loves Us All, and but I just want to say thank you for having me here, and I look forward to hearing some words of Catherine Mansfield. So, merci.